Ladies and gentlemen, I am Jameus Mooney of BodySlam.net. This is the second episode of GCW Game Changer Weekly, where we will go over here at BodySlam all of the news over the past week for GCW Game Changer Wrestling, and we will preview the two upcoming shows in Atlantic City this weekend. I am joined by a great friend of the show, stepping in today for my Duke Cassidy. We hope you feel better, man. Andy Moore. Andy Moore works with Body Sam as a member of T and Tights, who I was on recently for to discuss GCW and their partnership with TNT Extreme.
Yeah,
Andy, how you doing today, man?
I'm awesome. It's great to be on the show. I'm feeling really pumped to learn more about GCW for my show for when they come over. And of course, to help spread what the TNT Extreme and what GCW are doing here in the UK.
Do we want to start with that? Like, go into the TNT a little bit with because they have a partnership with GCW coming up when GCW goes to the United Kingdom.
Yeah, so TNT Extreme are coming over to the UK. GCW are coming to TNT Extreme here in the UK, which is Liverpool in the north west of England. They're one of the best kept secrets in the UK. They've had a lot of local talent. They've got a very enthusiastic, cult-like fans over there, much like the GCW guys. And they were due to work together back in 2020, but COVID completely scarpered the plans. Now they're back. They're working. They're hopefully going to be working together later this year for Supreme Extreme. Now, last time it was supposed to be booked for August 2020, so I reckon probably guessing that it'll be around the same dates this year. Fingers crossed. But they do have one coming up on March the 10th at TNT Extreme's Thrill Kill show. It's going to be Alex Colon versus the TNT Extreme Division champion Clint Margera, who you may remember from some CZW stuff way back in the day. He did work over there as well. And he's going to be doing a title versus title match against Alex Colon, which is going to be an absolute fantastic matchup.
Absolutely. Colon's been killing it recently in GCW. He is the current GCW Ultraviolent Champion. Obviously, I think you just mentioned that.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah, as you say, it's going to be a title versus title. So it's the Extreme Division champion of TNT Extreme. And Clint Margera, TNT Extreme literally just had their Dead on Arrival tournament, which has become an annual deathmatch tournament. And Clint Margera competed in a championship match, which he won. He then competed in the tournament itself, went through 3 different styles of death matches to win that tournament. So 4 death matches in one night. You can check out the full review on the last Tea in Tights because it's my colleague who watches the deathmatch wrestling mainly. I not so big a fan of the deathmatch, but my colleague loves a good deathmatch, and he did a full review of the show. So Clint Margera is a legend here in the UK. He started out with Fight Pro back with Trent Seven, and as I say, did some CZW stuff, and this is going to be an excellent matchup with 2 great deathmatch wrestlers.
Yeah, and Colon's been champion for about 3 months now. I believe he won it back in November. It's his second reign with the championship. So far this year, he's had a couple of really good matches. One with John Murdock, Die for This, and the first of the year. And he had a very good match with Hoodfoot about 2 weeks after that at Most Notorious. I don't think he's worked since then. I could be wrong. But
Now, he was actually supposed to be on the TNT Extreme DOA tournament alongside Charlie Evans, but actually both had to pull out for reasons. I'm not sure, 100% sure what the reasons were, but both of them did have to pull out. So, yeah, I don't think he's been up to much recently. Of course, Clint Margera, if he does win, won't be the first British person to hold the GCW Ultraviolent Champion. Drew Parker holds that distinction. I can't remember. He won it last year at some point and then lost it in.
Cologne for it.
Yeah, they had he had a huge rivalry over in Japan for the belt. I can't remember who he was facing. As I say, I'm not big follower. I just knew Drew Parker was doing his thing at the time.
So that is coming up. What day is that coming up again, Andy?
So that's March the 10th. It also is going to feature Ava Everett on the card because she's going to be actually competing for the TNT Extreme Women's Championship against Alexis Falcon. Alexis Falcon, the American audience might have seen via Progress. She's been a big part of their women's division since their return. She's the current TNT Extreme Women's Champion. So they're going to be having a matchup. Scotty Too Hottie is also going to be on the same card. He's
on this
taking
show
on
Scott Taylor.
Yeah, Scott Taylor. Yeah, he's going to be facing Gene Money, and Session Moth is going to be the special guest referee. So I'm sure that's going to be an entertaining match.
I bet Session Moth Martina loves that.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. There's also Mark Haskins is challenging Scotty Rourke for the Ultra X Championship on the same card. So Mark Haskins, huge star of the UK scene. I'm sure most of you guys probably know him from the Ring of Honor. He did have to run there as part of the... they weren't the Foundation, but they were something... I can't remember what they were.
So... he mentioned Scotty Too Hottie is going to be on that show.
Taylor, yeah. Scott Taylor's going to be on that show.
Scotty Too Hottie recently debuted for GCW. Actually, I just mentioned the show. First of the year, GCW died for this when he wrestled Joey Janela. That was the last time that GCW was in Atlantic City until this weekend, where they will have 2 shows this weekend in Atlantic City. The first thing is GCW Believe Me, which airs on the 19th, 2 days from now on Saturday. It is going to be live on Fight for those who want to order it. The card includes Jordan Oliver versus Nick Wayne. Before we continue on this, Nick Wayne was in the news this past week.
Yeah, I saw this. And Darby Allin, the man to bring the news to him as well. I mean, wow.
Yeah. For those unaware, Nick Wayne wrestled the Fallen Angel Chris Daniels at the 5th anniversary show for Defy Wrestling, one of the top promotions the top promotion in Seattle, Washington. It's where Darby Allin really made a name for himself in a pre-AEW landscape, as well as Joey Janela and a couple of other performers. They have some really good guys too. Shaft is really good. Shaft kills it. But Defy Wrestling had their 5th anniversary show, featured quite a few known talents. Nick Wayne has been on GCW for quite a bit. He's not won many matches, but he's definitely stolen a lot of headlines. After the match, which he didn't win, Darby Allin appeared and offered him an AEW contract. The circumstances of the contract are unclear because usually 16-year-olds don't get signed this quickly, which shows how good Nick Wayne is at a really young age. 3rd-generation wrestler. He grew up in wrestling, but Nick Wayne.
Here in the UK, a 16-year-old competing is not that much of a big thing over in the UK. We have
started
obviously
young.
had issues, because of it.
They're
But
young
we
lads.
had young people. People like Ricky Knight were wrestling when they were like 12 years old.
Pete Dunne is a veteran at like 24 years old.
Yeah, I know it's ridiculous,
But
but it's amazing to see. He must be so talented to be 16 years old to get signed.
of course, he's had a lot of barn burners in GCW, such as the Atticus Cogar matches, the Jordan Oliver match at War Ready that went to a no contest. He recently had a great match with Jack Cartwheel. Another great match with Tony Deppen. Uh, he he didn't debut until about 6 months ago in
Mm.
GCW, but he's been the highlight of a majority of their shows in the last 6 months, and they've run quite a few shows. So that I don't think they're going to lose him though, because obviously AEW talents work GCW quite a bit. John Moxley's the world champion, for example.
Yeah.
And what's interesting to me about this is recently when GCW ran Hammerstein in New York, the New York State Athletic Commission refused to let Nick Wayne work because he was too young.
Yeah, I saw
And
that.
AEW runs the New York territory quite a bit. So while it's unprecedented for somebody to get so young to get signed this quickly in the States, it'll be interesting to see how much AEW can use him until he reaches a little bit of a higher age.
How old's Hook? I mean, I know Hook's not like 16 or anything, but I don't think they ever mentioned how old
Hook's not old. I'm going
like
to.
19,
I think
20
he's
maybe?
22.
Yeah.
22 would sound about right.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
don't think Hook's that old.
Off
that young.
subject. Yeah.
He's young for
For a
everybody
talent. Yeah.
in
Yeah.
wrestling in
Compared
AEW, but
to.
he's not young like Nick Wayne young.
No.
I think there's a good half decade between the two at least.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's certainly a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a huge deal, and Nick Wayne deserves it. His fundamentals are fantastic. He's already proven he can work with any style really well. He has a different match out every time. He has a really good understanding for somebody so young at the psychology of the industry.
Do you know where he was training?
He was trained by his dad, I believe.
Well, yeah. As you say, generation wrestlers, so yeah, more than likely,
Yeah.
Because Ricky Knight Jr. likes to quote that he was, learning to wrestle before he learned to walk.
Yeah, he was trained by at the Buddy Wayne Academy, which Buddy Wayne's obviously his father. Buddy Wayne was in the industry for like 32 years, too. He was very well traveled.
Yeah.
Well traveled. But that did happen, and that's something we need to make sure to hit on because that's a big deal. So he's going to be wrestling Jordan Oliver on Saturday's card. That's going to be a really good match, I think. Jordan Oliver is one of the best young talents in wrestling, too.
I've seen Oliver's work. He's very athletic, very quick, very tall, but quite skinny. So
Yeah,
he has
lanky.
a lot of, he's got that lanky range. And I love that inside out cutter he does.
Yeah, he's exceptionally talented. Like Wayne can work any style you need him to work. I actually really like this generation of more lanky wrestlers. I think it provides different. I think it diversifies the roster a little bit.
Yeah. Everyone seems to be about 5'10" at the moment.
And of course, I'm lanky. Like I'm 6 foot, but I'm very skinny.
I don't, as I say, the recent show we were at of my co-host Big Daddy Dan. He's Big Daddy Dan for a reason. He's 6'3". So when we're actually talking to a lot of wrestlers, he's much bigger than they are.
Yeah. I'm lanky, so it's nice to see some lanky representation.
Yeah.
Of course. Jordan Oliver is one of the best young talents in wrestling. Fundamentals are perfect. His footwork is exceptional. He's got a really good grasp on the industry. I think that's going to be a really fun match. Of course, he's one of the main. He's also only 22.
Yeah. Very exciting talent.
GCW does an excellent job at taking young talents and putting them at the forefront early and
Yeah.
making them ready quick. Of course, Jordan Oliver and Nick Wayne teamed
It's
earlier this month against Dante Leon and Ninja Mac at If I Die First in Dallas.
If you see, GCW is like the opposite to the NXT nil program. It's like GCW are looking for that young, talented group of guys that want to be in wrestling.
Yeah. GCW's got a really diverse roster, and I think that's one thing that helps them stand out. Also on the card, an 8-man tag match between Second Gear Crew, which is Effie, Matt Justice, One Called Manders, and AJ Gray. And they will take on Jack Cartwheel, Kamikaze, Gringo Loco, and ASF. How much of those guys have you seen?
I think I recognize like a couple of those names, so you're going to have to entertain me and the guys out there and let us know what we're going to expect from this match.
AJ Gray, nastiest chops in wrestling today.
See, that's one of the names I know.
Yeah, AJ Gray is exceptional. Very talented. For everybody, all 8 in this match are very talented professional wrestlers. Very stiff. Second Gear Crew is probably the stiffest stable in wrestling today. Matt Justice is great at everything. He's wrestled for like 16 years, so he's including he's very well traveled too. Fearless is probably the best word to describe him. Great performer. Of course, Effie has done a better job than anybody in wrestling at marketing.
You see,
His persona and who Effie is.
Yeah, I knew of Effie before I saw Effie wrestle because he is so good at what you said, marketing himself. He was all over my Twitter feed when I first, because I only joined Twitter like 3 years ago. No, not even that, maybe 2.5. And Effie was all over it by that time already, and I was just following a few wrestlers that I knew at the time.
Yeah, Effie is one of the most talented professional wrestlers on the planet. He understands everything about the industry. And when I say everything, I mean he is a very creative worker, but he does so in a way that everything makes sense in the context of a match. He's done an excellent job at providing representation in an industry that historically does a poor job at it. But he knows how to market himself. He knows who Effie is. When Effie appears on the screen, the viewer, even if they haven't seen him before, automatically knows who Effie is and wants to root for the guy. Like, there is money written all over Effie.
Yeah.
Of course, Gringo Loco is great. Jack Cartwheel. If your style is seeing something you've never seen before, Jack Cartwheel is the guy to watch. The stuff that man can do will leave your jaw on the floor. And while it may not be everybody's style, you can tell what makes him so fun for his fans.
He looks like an absolute stud.
Very fluid high flyer. Like probably the most fluid high flyer I've seen since young Ricochet.
Interesting to see that one.
So that's a match to watch. On the card, Mark and Jay Briscoe will wrestle the SAT, Joe Maximo and Jose Maximo. Give me your thoughts on the Briscoes.
one of the most underrated tag. Well, I don't want to say underrated because they're so rated in the areas where they need to be, because they are one of the best tag teams to have ever been around in the last 10 years. They've had incredible matches with so many different people, like the Young Bucks, and so many different Red Dragon, and their ROH run was incredible. The Briscoes are one, as I say, just one of the best unsigned tag teams. I can't wait to see them versus FTR. Give me that match soon, please.
Yeah. Of course, the SAT, Jose Maximo and Joe Maximo, one of the best tag teams on the independents. That's going to be a very fun, physical match. Next, John Murdock versus G Raver. And if you like the deathmatch style, this is the match for you, because I don't think there are two better, more consistent deathmatch wrestlers on the planet than G Raver and John Wayne Murdock.
Well, Dan, if you're watching this, you're watching that match.
How much of John Wayne Murdock have you seen?
As I say, I can't. I mean, I know a little bit about sort of like the British deathmatch scene because it's my part of my job to know, as doing the body slam stuff as the lead UK guy. I keep my eye on it. I know who the guys are, but I couldn't name people in American deathmatch wrestling. It's just not. I respect it. How can you not respect it? And the guys that do it are incredible. What we tend to do, myself and Daniel, is because I won't review it because I will be unfair to it.
It's not your cup of tea.
Exactly. Yeah, not my cup of tea, because that's British and it's tea and tights.
And of course, you can listen to Tea and Tights every week with yours truly. So I wasn't big on deathmatch wrestling until about 2 years ago. It wasn't my cup of tea either. And both of these two performers were two that really changed my mind on it. I still have to be in a specific mood for it. And GCW too actually helped, because one thing I always note about GCW is that they have a very diverse card. If deathmatch wrestling isn't your thing, that's fine, because Tony Deppin's going to give you the best technical wrestling performance you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Or Ninja Mac is going to do some crazy shit you've never seen.
You see, that's what the partnership with GCW and TNT Extreme that's coming is so right, because that's the exact same thing for TNT Extreme. Yes, they've got their deathmatch and their Extreme, but then they've got the Ultra X division, which is kind of like the X division of DNA or Impact Wrestling or whatever they are at the moment. But and then you've got the heavyweight division, an incredible tag team division, and the women's division is one of the best in the UK. But yeah, sorry, go. It's a great partnership.
But G Raver and John Murdock both, again, know exactly what they are, what their characters are. And I think that's actually one thing I would love about GCW too, is that it feels authentic and everybody is themselves.
Yeah.
Like, you know exactly who everybody is the moment they show up on screen. And oftentimes, wrestling cards only have like one or two people like that, which is which is one of the other things that is great about GCW. Matt and Tremont will wrestle Hoodfoot. Matt and Tremont, obviously the owner of H2O. Shout out to the boys at H2O. They actually have a show tonight with Jimmy Lloyd, who will be on the card wrestling Blake Christian.
Okay.
Of course, Blake Christian just got back not too long ago from his run in NXT and the Performance Center. Blake Christian is one of the best wrestlers on the planet. One thing the Performance Center does very well is to tighten the screws on his work. Blake Christian was one of the first people to really use GCW to launch into the Performance Center because
Yeah.
he was a damn good worker before. So we're tightening the screws and working with guys like Sean. You can see exactly where it improved his work, and he's so much better for it. And it was hard to get better. He recently had a very good match with Laredo Kid at If I Die in Dallas. He had a very good match, a 4-way match the night before with Gringo Loco, Mascara Dorada, and ASF. Of course, for those who don't know Mascara Dorada, he wrestled as Grand Metalik in WWE.
Awesome. Nice to see him doing stuff again.
Him and Blake Christian have had a great match. He is Blake Christian. Him and Alex Zane, another Performance Center cut recently, had a great match with the Briscoes at the beginning of this year.
I saw Alex Zane versus Will Osprey. That was an incredible match. It was on NJPW Strong. Sorry to bring that.
Alex Zane's gotten really good.
Just
of course,
an amazing match.
Body Sam's currently going all in on their coverage with New Japan Strong. You can check out my interview I did recently that aired a week ago with Carl Fredericks right now on our YouTube channel. And I have another interview coming out soon with Chris Dickinson, who, by the way, and GCW announced his return coming up for the Los Angeles show. He sent out a tweet a couple of days ago that said he had unfinished business in the Bay Area, and we'll get more on that later. Let's not get too far from our previewing of Saturday's show.
I was going to say about Jimmy Lloyd, because Jimmy Lloyd has actually competed for TNT Extreme previously. He was part of the DOA tournament back in 2020 before COVID. Is it?
He's a different boy.
Yeah.
Jimmy Lloyd, and I cannot stress this enough, is one of the best workers in GCW. It's oftentimes because he does so many different things, it goes understated just how good he is at the simple things. Like, I don't think GCW has a better bump guy than Jimmy Lloyd. Every worker that works with him looks better coming out of a match with him than they do any other match. And that's a credit to just how good Jimmy Lloyd is.
Yeah.
Exceptional worker in ways that I don't think he'll ever get credit for. Very fun worker too. The card also features Mascara Dorada, again, Grand Metalik, versus Joey Janela, which should be a very fun match. Joey Janela's done an awesome job in GCW from I'm going to work with everybody I want to work with, no matter the style or match.
Yeah.
And it's going to be awesome.
He's been one of the poster boys for GCW alongside Effie, and as you say, he's done some great work with them.
Nick Gage, too.
But, of course.
Yeah, when I think of GCW, there's not many names I think of before I think of Joey Janela's name.
Yeah.
Recently, he had a great match with Matt Cardona, Hammerstein. He had a great match with Minoru Suzuki not too long ago. He works with anybody and everybody, and this match should be a lot of fun.
Very different styles, obviously.
I'm very glad that they brought Mascara Dorada back. I'm hoping to see a lot more of him in GCW. I think he did great the first few times he showed up, and he's a perfect fit for that show.
Yeah.
And the feel that the show brings. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be excellent. And in the main event, for the GCW Ultraviolet title, at least I think it's the main event, it will be Alex Colon versus Reed Bentley. Reed Bentley, the tag partner of John Murdock. They compete across the Indies as the Rejects. Excellent tag team. But this could throw a wrench into the match
on March 10th with TNT Extreme. Hopefully, or maybe they'll just switch opponents, keep it a title for title match, and I'm sure Clint Margera will be ready to take on either one. Or if Alex Colon comes along without the title, it'll still be a great match.
Naturally, he does not have many bad matches at all.
Exactly.
Reed Bentley's interesting because this will only be his second match in GCW since 2019. The Rejects wrestled the Briscoes at Say You Will on the 15th of this year in Illinois. Other than that, he hasn't worked with GCW since 2019 when he was a regular from 2016 to 2019. So it's interesting that they're bringing him back now. Of course, you're seeing something similar with John Murdock.
So what was he doing while he's been sort of like out of the GCW mix for a little while? What's he been up to?
He's been teaming with John Murdock across the independents. They've worked a lot of ICW shows, which are always great too. ICW is very similar to GCW in a lot of ways. ICW normally runs throughout Florida. They're based out of Port Richey, so they're kind of local to me. But they're about 3 hours from me, so not too far, but not far enough for me to go, oh, hey, let me go to ICW, you know?
So I'm not too bad in the UK. I'm about an hour from a few different good promotions.
But I have met John Murdock. If you ever get a chance to meet John Murdock, do it because he is a wonderful person to go meet. Don't really think we have time to go into that story today, but eventually I'll go into that story on this show.
You'll have me back. Maybe.
Whenever you want on, man, just give me the word. And then Sunday, the 20th, I think Sunday is the 20th. Yeah, Sunday is the 20th. Also on Fight TV from the Carousel Room at Showboat Hotel in Atlantic City, which, by the way, I love that they're going back to that venue. That venue looked awesome last time they were there. And I love that GCW does so many different venues. I always think it's really cool. One of my favorite things in wrestling in general is, like, do you remember when the first Nitro aired? And it was, I think it was the first Nitro. I may be wrong on the exact Nitro episode. It was the Pillman Liger episode.
I remember the Pillman Liger, but to try and remember everything, God no.
So the venue they were in is one of my favorite venues. I love venues in wrestling that don't look like wrestling venues, and GCW always finds places like that, and it's awesome. The less mass-produced your show looks, the better, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because it gives the feeling that anything can really happen.
A true independent feel, yeah.
And the GCW does an excellent job at providing that feeling in many ways. But this next show, really solid show top to bottom. Blake Christian will wrestle Ninja Mac. And if you're a fan of athletic,
I've seen both of these guys. Yeah.
That's the match. Ninja Mac is insane. Like, he does things that I've never seen anybody else do in wrestling, and that's hard to say because I watch a lot of wrestling, and it's hard to do something new. It's hard to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
And he's somebody who seems to have a good grasp on how can I top myself this time. Of course, we've already went into Blake Christian a bit. Excellent performer all around.
I saw it was a triple threat. Him, Trey Miguel, and Will Osprey for the Warrior title. That was a great match.
Yeah, Warrior Wrestling's killing it right now, man. Another match on the card is One of my favorite things about, but I say this a lot. I've said that one of my favorite things about GCW like 4 times on
Just
this show
everything
alone.
is your favorite, man, because it's wrestling, it's GCW, it's
Yeah, but if everything's my favorite, is anything really my favorite? I guess that just means I really enjoy the product. So
Yeah,
I don't think I'd be doing the show if I didn't enjoy this product.
that's it.
Yeah, I really do enjoy the product. I like guys like PCO, guys, kind of what they're doing with Scotty Too Hottie, kind of what they're about to do with X-Pac.
Yeah.
But I like that they're giving veterans that didn't quite get their due previously a last great run. And
Yeah,
one of those
because
guys is Too Cold Scorpio, who will be on the show.
he's going to be in the UK as well. Cheltenham, WPW All-Star Extravaganza. It's taken on a guy over in the UK called MVK, the Valcabius, the most valuable killer. Looks like a great show. I'll try and find out the rest of the details later if we've got a chance. But yeah, he's going to be in the UK soon.
But like last year during the collective, he had a run
Mm.
where he had a great match with Leo Rush. He wrestled on the VXS show in the collective. He had a match with Rich Swann. Actually, I'm thinking of Rich Swann, not Leo Rush. My point stands that was a great match. He's just had they've given him a really good run. The Rich Swann match at For the Culture was exceptional. But actually, let me go on a tangent and tell a story here. After his match versus Eli Everfly at Lucid Dreams last year, VXS, during the collective. Okay, so spring break went over.
Go for it.
So the show that was scheduled to start at midnight didn't start until like 1:30 or something like that. Because spring break went over, but because the main event of spring break was Ricky Page and Nick Gage in a death match, there was glass, thumbtacks, all sorts of stuff just around the ring that they had to get the fans out of the venue to clean it up before they could run another show in the venue. I have a picture of thumbtacks in my foot from being in the crowd in that match.
Damn.
So they had to clean up the venue. So the show didn't start until like 90 minutes after, and it was already scheduled to start late anyway. So he has a match with Eli Everfly. This is Heart of COVID. It's like 2:45 in the morning. He had just gotten done wrestling, and I approached him because it's Too Cold Scorpio. That's like one of my guys. I wanted to meet him. I didn't think he'd be up for fan interaction, but it never hurts to give it a shot.
I loved him as a kid, even the WWE run.
Man, Flash Funk was the dude.
Yes, he was. He was so awesome.
So I go up to Too Cold, and he just decides to put me in a headlock, and then takes a picture himself.
Oh, that's so cool.
There's more to the story, but I really don't have time to go into all of it. And I'm always going to think of that tidbit interaction when I think of Too Cold Scorpio going forward. Awesome guy. And you can tell he was high at the time, too.
Yeah,
it's notorious stoner.
Nothing wrong with that, absolutely, definitely not. But it's this Saturday he's actually in the UK wrestling. He's the WPW champion, apparently. So good luck to Too Cold Scorpio down there.
Yeah, and he on this show he will be working with Gringo Loco, 22-year vet of the industry, great performer. But yeah, what I like is that guys like Too Cold Scorpio, who were known for things like ECW, getting their due, but also guys like Gringo Loco, who weren't quite getting the due that they deserved before GCW, get their due too. Gringo Loco has been a GCW regular since mid 2018. I think my time frame is right on that.
He's got a faction or something in GCW, is that right?
Don't think
Maybe
so.
I think maybe wrong. Maybe he was just involved in an 8-man last time round.
Yeah, he worked. Team Gringo wrestled Team Bandito
That
in
must be what I'm
January, but
thinking of.
they're not a
Yeah.
faction. He
No.
teamed with Demonic Flamita and Araz.
Mm,
And they
incredible.
worked SF, Bandito, and Laredo Kid. But he doesn't have a faction. The
Yeah.
most recent match in GCW was If I Die First against Psycho Clown. Solid match. So that'll be a very fun match. I love that guys like that are getting their due.
Mm.
Um, Hold on, let me pull the card back up. Atticus Kogar will wrestle Alex Zane. This is going to be match of the night.
I know Zane. I don't know the other guy. Tell me about him.
Atticus Kogar, he was in the 440. Have you heard of 440? The Fuck Ohio group.
No, I'm sorry.
So they're this heel group from Ohio.
Yeah.
And their leader, Ricky Shane Page, was the GCW champion for a while. GCW World Champion. Atticus Kogar was a member of that group, but he's since branched out onto his own. The best heel on the independents. He knows exactly how to present himself to get heat just by walking out. He knows how to control the crowd in the palm of his hand on the microphone. Just an exceptional talent altogether. He's the next big thing, in my opinion. And if I have anybody beat Moxley, it's him. He's only 24 years old. Much like all of these other guys that we've gone over, he can work any style. There's a lot to love. Just in general, he's got a very unique look. Perfect age to do something big. And whoever lands him eventually is going to be the luckiest promotion in the world because there's money written all over that guy. Next on the show, Drago Kid versus ASF. Drago Kid, another 22-year-old. A lot of really young talent on these GCW shows. I think this will be Drago Kid's first one-on-one match in GCW. I know he teamed with ASF and Chris Carter late last year, and then was part of that 6-way scramble won by Fuego del Sol in Dallas late last year. I think that's his only 2 matches so far in GCW. If I'm wrong, somebody on the internet will correct me. But I think this is his first one-on-one match in GCW. I have not seen much of him outside of that. I know I saw him recently on Warrior Wrestling. He was competing for the Warrior Wrestling Lucha title earlier this year in the match won by Sam Adonis. But other than that, I've not seen much of him, so that would be something fun to watch. ASF is really good, though. The card also features another ultra-violent title match. Right now, it's penciled in as Alex Colon. Of course, that can change if Reed Bentley wins the night before. Card subject to change in pro wrestling.
As always.
So that's on the card.
So who's he facing?
And Marco Stunt will wrestle Second Gear Crew, Matt Justice, and AJ Gray specifically. That's going to be an excellent match. I'm glad to see Marco integrating himself back into GCW. He's slowly starting to do more GCW dates now that his role in AEW has been very diminished.
Yeah.
They're likely not going to resign him.
No.
which I don't think the Jurassic Park stuff was always going to be a fit going forward, especially as they branch out and do more with Jungle Boy. But I think they could have found a spot for Marco Stunt.
See, for me, I would if not possibly I would have just kept him alongside, but I'd have had him do less ring. So maybe it's good for him if he wanted to do more in ring, and Tony Khan wanted him to do less in ring. This is good for him. This is what he wanted. So,
and he was a major player for GCW before AEW.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting. The team with Janela is interesting too. Of course, Janela is another AEW guy that was signed out of the gate, and didn't pick up much steam there. Not on his own fault. He did excellent work on Dark. The story with Sunny Kiss was a lot of fun. I'm a Joey Janela fan.
I'm not going to accuse AEW of trying to slow GCW's role. I'm joking.
I don't think AEW is trying to do that
joke,
either.
No, just a joke.
Oh, okay.
I doubt it. That's something WWE would do, but
it'll be interesting to see how the clash of styles between a teams very stiff and physical like AJ Gray and Matt Justice react to somebody who is a lot more untraditional in the ring, like a Marco Stunt. I think that could provide a very interesting juxtaposition between the two teams.
Very entertaining.
Match.
Yeah.
And then also a GCW tag team title match is on the card. The Hate Club, Nick Gage and Matt Tremont, the champions, will defend their championships against the Rejects.
And who are the Rejects?
Reed Bentley and John Wayne Murdock.
Okay.
I think there's a decent chance that the Rejects pick up the upset. I don't know if you call it the upset because they've done more teaming than Tremont and Nick Gage. Especially with Nick Gage did just sign that big deal. I saw that he will be addressing the crowd on Saturday. I probably should have hit on that to discuss his future after the big deal. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Rejects win at all. And I would love to see more of the Rejects in GCW. And I think that would be a great team to kind of defeat
Tremont. You said they've got two big matches. You said the one beforehand, two big singles matches, including the Extreme Ultra Violent Championship, and then, of course, this Tag Team Championship. So, yeah, it looks like GCW might be looking to do something. You wouldn't bring them into such high-profile matches just to bring them in for that and then get rid of them. I can't see that.
Yeah, both of them are excellent workers. I would love to see more of that. So that's what's going on this weekend. You can order those on Fight TV. You can order a combo for $19.99 US dollars. The first show is on the 19th at 8 p.m. So order before then, and you'll get 2 nights of excellent wrestling. The second one is 5 p.m. on Sunday. And
yeah, so that's I think that's about £17 UK, and that's good time for UK guys out there. So if any of the TNT guys are watching this right now, it's a great deal. And in fact, you sold me on it. I'm going to pick GCW up this weekend, just in case you ever invite me back on. I'll be a bit more knowledgeable about the guys that are competing.
Hey, man, you did an excellent job breaking down the TNT partnership, which is what I'm here for, or you're here for. Just like I went on your podcast to discuss the GCW
that's it, which I thought you did a great job for as well. We got some great feedback for that one.
On Body Sam's YouTube channel, Body Sam Spotify, anywhere you listen to your podcast, Apple Podcast. Can't speak enough about how good Andy, Andrew, whichever you prefer to be called.
I'm an Andy. I'm Andy for short.
Yeah, Cass calls you Andy, so I've gotten used to calling you Andy, and then I see your name on here.
I'm just not good with this technology. I should have changed my name beforehand and put my Twitter handle up. I'm so bad at promoting myself.
You need seems like Andy Moore needs to promote himself more.
That's it. Get me
I'm
on your
sorry,
shows
I'm
if you
here all
want
week.
UK knowledge. Yeah, if you want somebody to learn about the UK scene, yeah, bring me on. I'll bring my partner Big Daddy Dan. We do Tween Tights. It's a
Me and Dan
weekly
do an
UK show.
excellent job.
We do. I love it. It's
Very fun
fun.
show. One of Body Sam's favorites. Of course, it's every show on our network is our favorite.
Oh, of course.
We love all of our podcasters the same. But yeah, another episode just dropped too, didn't it?
Big Daddy Dan just did an interview, a preview for PWE Phenomenal Elite Wrestling. That is dropping tomorrow at 1 p.m. He then did an interview yesterday with Top Gun young wrestler Tommy Kyle. That's going to be available on Sunday. I was ill on both of those shows, so unfortunately, but Big Daddy did a great job. I've been editing the videos today. Fantastic interviews. And of course, we just did drop our weekly show. All the latest updates for British wrestling, reviews, previews, news, and some European news. We like to drop in some WXW and just try to keep every update with what's going on this side of the shore.
And I'm going to run through some quick other GCW updates. Minoru Suzuki is returning to GCW for 5 big shows starting at the Collective in Dallas, including Josh Barnett's Bloodsport and Joey Janela's 6th annual Spring Break event. The other 3 shows that Suzuki will be appearing on are April 23rd in Detroit, April 10th in San Francisco, and April 9th in Hollywood, Los Angeles, California. And an update with Atlanta. As of yesterday, Joey Janela is set to take center stage. Other people on the card include Jonathan Gresham, who will wrestle Blake Christian, Matt Cardona, AR Fox, Ali Catch, Second Gear Crew, Effie, AJ Gray, Gringo Loco, Tony Dippin, brand new AEW superstar, if you're just tuning in, Nick Wayne, and Atticus Kogar, among others. Thunder Rosa is set to take on Tony Deppen in a first-time ever match in LA on February 26th. The show will also feature the return of Mance Warner, Dark Streak versus Atticus Kogar, Ninja Mac versus Jack Cartwheel, Gringo Loco versus the former Grand Metalik Mascara Dorada, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Blake Christian. Of course, the February 25th show includes Sean Waltman, the legendary X-Pac 1-2-3 Kid 6, one of the most underappreciated performers in the history of U.S. wrestling, teaming with Joey Janela to take on the major players. Jack Cartwheel will take on Gringo Loco, Tony Deppen, Jordan Oliver, Jimmy Lloyd, a different boy, and Matt Justice. AJ Gray versus Leo. Wagner versus Homicide. Speedball Mike versus Ninja Mac. Blake versus Wayne. Fatu and Juicy versus the Briscoes. And more. There's a lot coming up to like in GCW. Just a lot of excellent shows, top to bottom, coming on. On the 25th, excuse me, will also feature the return of Chris Dickinson, which again, we have an interview with Chris Dickinson dropping in the next couple of days. I don't quite have a day yet. Sean Waltman even tweeted out how much he was looking forward to the Dickinson return. Of course, Waltman's in-ring return will be on that show. So that if you're a big fan of DX, 123 Kid, all of that. This is a show that is must order. So quite a bit to like about GCW. We're reaching the hour mark, so we're gonna wrap it up now. We will see you next week. Hopefully, Cass will be back next week. I hope you're feeling better, Cassidy. We miss you, man. This show's not as nearly as good without you, even though Andy did do an excellent job filling in, and we appreciate that from him.
No
problem. Cass and I actually have a project coming up that I can't give too many details on, but it is a really cool, innovative idea. It will be him, myself, and a major player for GCW. You cannot think of GCW without this man. He is a staple of every GCW show. I am looking forward to the day that I can announce it and the day we start recording the project.
Just keep hyping that announcement.
We have a lot of stuff coming up that just can't miss on the Body Slam Network. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have a banner down below telling you to like and subscribe because I like to eat cheap pops. Of course, another banner is about to come telling you to follow us on Twitter at bodyslam.net. You can follow Andy on Twitter. I'm sorry, man. Your Twitter handle's a pain in my ass. What's your Twitter handle?
It is at GB Attaku 82. So the Great British Attaku 82.
Yeah.
GB Attaku 82.
There's no way I'm gonna remember that. I'm sorry, man.
It's part of my other life where I sell anime.
Hey, no judgment here. There's a lot of really good anime out there.
Indeed.
Of course. And you can follow me on Twitter at the Jameus. You can like me on Facebook at the same name. Be sure to like me on Facebook and not add my personal profile. Unless you just want a bunch of pictures of my dog and my cat, which suit yourself. And of course, you can listen to Body Slam podcasts like this, like Andy's Tea and Tights, like the interviews I have already released and have coming up. A lot of really cool stuff on anywhere you listen to your podcasts. Spotify. I know I use Spotify. I'm a student. I take advantage of that Spotify free deal. Spotify, Apple Podcast. If you're a listener from India, where I know we do big numbers, we can reach out to Cass to discuss which podcast platforms we just launched on, because a lot of their podcast platforms over there we recently made a deal with.
Oh, awesome.
I still have to read up on that. I don't know. So that's something for our Indian listeners to look forward to. We have a lot of other great projects too. All of our podcasters are great. We have more stuff coming up, so you're missing out if you're not planning on subscribing to our YouTube channel, giving us a Spotify follow. Of course, if you really like us and want to support writers like me, of course, I'm an editor for Body Slam, so audio content's not the only thing I do. Andy does a great job at covering our British news in a written sense. I promise you, we both articulate better in writing.
Every now and then.
So, be sure to, if you want to support our writers, be sure to go to Pro Wrestling Tees, where you can buy Body Slam t-shirts. Whole 9 yards, gotta plug everything.
Indeed.
I appreciate everybody who listened. Be sure to follow Andy. I'm not even going to try to say his Twitter.
At GB Otaku 82. They'll know.
And be sure to
the ones in the know will know.
Be sure to follow me at the Jameus. I also tweet a lot of noted stuff. But regardless, that is it from this edition of Game Changer Weekly. You can join us next week at 3 p.m. Eastern. And every other week after that. I am the Jameus, editor at Body Slam, joined today by Andy Moore, who did an exceptional job. Writer, contributor, and podcaster at Body Slam. Make sure to listen to Tea and Tights. Make sure to listen to everything we do, frankly.
Indeed.
Over and out. Thank you for listening so much. We appreciate you.